Hey everyone, today we're doing a random number generator, which will decide how many hours I read for during the day. I'm going to be doing this for 5 days, so that I can spend a little bit less time on my phone and a little bit more time reading. Let's get started. Okay, let's spin the wheel and see how many hours I'm going to be reading for today. Exciting. Four hours. That's doable. We can do that. Okay, good. Let's get started. Alright, so now that I have the amount of hours I'm going to be reading for, I'm going to start reading. I'm going to get some books ready, and I think I'm going to start by having breakfast and reading while having breakfast. I think that could be fun, so let's get started.
Hunting big game, painting a little, things for myself only, and trying to forget something very sad that had happened to me long ago. With an effort, I managed to restrain my incredulous laughter.
It is now day 2, so yesterday I did end up reading for 4 hours. I mostly listened to the audiobook of The Great Gatsby, and I don't have that much left, so hopefully I'll finish it today. And I read a little bit of A Tempest of Tea as well. So yeah, let's spin to see how much we have to read today. Now let's spin for day 2. Four hours again. Let's do it. I'm excited. Okay, so it's day 3 of my challenge, and it's my friend. We are doing a bookish day together, and we went book shopping, and we're gonna do a little book haul. So I'll go first. I got Cover Story by, I think it's Mhairi McFarlane. I don't know how to pronounce this author's name, but I think it's Mhairi McFarlane. Haley fam likes this author, so I bought it. There we go. And then I also bought This Is How We Lose the Time War because it looked interesting and kind of smart. And I wanted to feel smart, so that's why I got it.
So I bought this is like for a friend who likes fantasy, but who's read a lot of fantasy books. It's called The Atlas 6, and it looks really interesting, and I like the cover, which is mainly why I chose it. It's like black and gold and fancy. And then this book called Babel, which is also like fantasy, and I don't know, it just looked really interesting and I wanted to read it for a while.
Alright, so yesterday my goal was 4 hours of reading time, and I was sick, as you might have guessed from the past video that you just saw. So I ended up rereading a couple books, and I read for way more than 4 hours. I read for like 6 hours or something. I did not get out of the house, but I did read this entire book again, which I had already read, but it was fun. And I started rereading this book as well, and I got pretty far, to be honest. And it's so good, so I might continue rereading this, like, when I feel like rereading stuff. So yeah, and now I'm gonna spin the wheel to see how many hours I have to read for today. See how many hours we have to read for today. Okay, fabulous. I'm definitely gonna be able.
Reaching that goal.
That's gonna happen. Okay, perfect. Okay, so it's now day 4. Yesterday I only had to read for an hour, so that was pretty relaxing, to be honest. I read this book. I did fall asleep at some point, but I read like 40 pages and I had read a little bit more that morning, so it did round up to like over an hour. And I really enjoyed it. And now we have to spin again to see how much we have to read for today. Let's go. All right, so how much are we reading for today? All right, yeah. I can do that. It's fine. We'll be fine. Okay, let's do it. So 5 hours is a lot, but I will definitely finish The Great Gatsby, maybe look for another audiobook, because I do think like when I have to read for a long time, it's nicer to have an audiobook because then you can like do other stuff as well. And I'm gonna try to get like possibly finish this book. I mean, 5 hours is a long time. I don't know. I do have a lot of pages left. We'll see how much we get done. But I think today's a good day for 5 hours of reading. I don't have that much planned. I have something tonight, but like, it's fine. Alright, so it's now 11 p.m. and I have not read for 5 hours. I've read for 50 minutes, so nowhere near the amount I was supposed to read for. But you know what? There is still tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna read a little bit before bed. I'll like get in bed, get ready for bed, and read not for 4 hours and 10 minutes, but like for some amount, and we'll see how much we get done. Okay, so today is day 5 of the challenge, the last day. I did fail yesterday. I did not read for 5 hours. I ended up reading for an hour and a half. And so I've calculated that with the amount that I read on Tuesday, the extra amount, it should even out if I add an hour to whatever I get today. So I'm gonna spin and add an hour to whatever I get. Let's go do that. Okay, so let's see how many hours we have to read for today. Okay, perfect. 2, so that means I have to read for 3 hours to even out what I didn't read yesterday. So let's do that. Alright, so I have now read for 2 hours out of the 3 hours I have to read for today, so I have an hour left, but I've decided that regardless of how much time is left, I want to finish both of these books. So I want to finish Tempest of Tea because I've been reading it since the first day of this challenge, and I have not made that big of a dent into it, so I think I should finish it like this afternoon. And then the other book I want to finish is this one from the library. It's a graphic novel. It's really good, and I have like a tiny bit left. So I'm going to finish this one and at least try to make like a big dent into this one. I think that would be good. And so I have some matcha because I've fallen into the trend. No, I'm kidding. It's just really good. And I'm going to start reading. Alright, I've finished day 5 of my challenge, and I've finally finished A Tempest of Tea. I will tell you more about all the books I read tomorrow, because right now it's 11:30, which is why I'm whispering. And I ended up reading for 4 hours and 12 minutes today, so I do feel like I've caught up my time from yesterday, where I read considerably less than I was supposed to. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, but I will see you tomorrow for a little recap and to fill in maybe my bullet journal and everything. Alright, so we've now finished the challenge. I have all the books that I read during the challenge right here, and I'm going to tell you what I thought a little bit. So the first book I finished was this book right here. I read it while I was sick, so I mean, I already knew what it was. I was rereading it. It was very nice. It was very pleasant. It got the job done of cheering me up while I was sick. Basically, that's it. But yeah, it was very pleasant. I really enjoyed this. It's the second book in this series, so it was pretty good. The second book I read was actually an audiobook on Spotify. It was The Great Gatsby. Honestly, really enjoyed it. I loved the narrator, like the guy who's reading the audiobook. I loved his voice. It was really pleasant. He was doing like all the voices from the characters. I really liked it. And it was kind of nice during the challenge to have an audiobook so I could do other stuff while reading, like just kind of mindless tasks, like cleaning, that sort of thing. So that was very pleasant. I also finished this comic book, graphic novel, I guess. It's really, really pretty. I really liked it. All the characters were really engaging. I mean, the story was amazing. It's about, this boy who hits his head. He falls asleep and he wakes up. Instead of waking up the next day, he wakes up 2 days later, and he later finds out that like another version of him, another like personality is inhabiting his body while he's asleep, like during that day that he misses. And so it's about his life, and it was honestly really amazing. I borrowed another graphic novel by this author, and I think I'm gonna read another one next, so that was really nice. I also finished A Tempest of Tea. Honestly, I absolutely loved this book. I will say there's like a slight lull in the middle, but it might just be because I read it slightly too slowly. Like, it's not a very big book, it's like a little bit over 300 pages, and I think like at the beginning we're meeting all the characters, and it's really engaging, and you're meeting all these people, and they're really interesting, and they have like great relationships and banter and all of that. It's great. And then like this is about a heist, and they're planning a heist, and there's a bit of a lull while they're like preparing for it where I was a little bit less engaged. But I think if I'd read it a little bit quicker, I would still have been interested from the beginning, and so I kind of would have skipped over that. But honestly, the end, I read it all in one sitting last night. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And finally, I didn't finish this book, but I did read a little bit of it this morning, so I wanted to talk about it. It's called Orange. It's like a manga, I think. Like, it's backwards. So far, I've only read like this much, but so far, it's really good. So, there we go. That's all for this week, and now I'm gonna add them all, like all these books, to my Goodreads and then my bullet journal. Alright, let's go do that. Alright, so I've added The Great Gatsby, Ces Jours qui disparaissent, and A Tempest of Tea to my red shelf on Goodreads. I decided not to add A Court of Mist and Fury just because I don't feel like adding another book that I've reread to my Goodreads challenge. Speaking of the Goodreads challenge, I am now at 19 books out of 30. I'm 3 books ahead of schedule. So that's lovely. There we go. So this is my bullet journal, and the first page we have to fill in is the reading log, and then I'm gonna add the little books to the library of books I've read this year. So I can add 4 squares here, and I'm gonna add the 4 books. Alright, well, the challenge is over. I had a really good time. I read a lot more than I usually would have during a week. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next time.